Youth Month indeed in South Africa, and as we celebrate this month, the South African Bone Marrow Registry is commending youth for stepping up to become bone marrow stem cell donors and call on those who are eligible to still sign up. In the last year, the registry has seen a 65% increase in youth sign-ups, expanding the donor pool and ethnic diversity to assist more patients in need. So for more on this, we're joined by Nadia Chalkley. She's the head of Donor Recruitment for the South African Bone Marrow Registry. Great to have you, Nadia. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Good morning, Leanne, and to the viewers.
Quite alarming. I mean, when you look at those statistics of how it's increased, it's amazing. But let me sort of start here. You say since allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to become bone marrow stem cell donors, the SA Bone Marrow Registry has seen a whopping 65% increase. I mean, this is incredible. Talk to us about this.
It really has been incredible. And it just shows us that the youth certainly has influence, whether they're influencing the pockets and expenditure of their parents or just our societal choices. They really have an important and significant role to play in the future of this country. And we are also overwhelmed that the learners and students and the youth that form the foundation of this 3,000 we have managed to recruit is motivating and encouraging other institutional management and leaders, senates, committees to also get involved. So they are literally driving at a grassroots level awareness drives and campaigns and just so many new, fresh and inspiring and enthusiastic ideas we can implement on a realistic level.
Yeah. So the bulk of registrations, as we've heard, is coming from donor drives that are being held at schools and university campuses, especially after the COVID-19 restrictions have been lifted. You can actually get some access now. Can we say that young people have become more aware and compassionate to health since we've sort of been sitting in a pandemic and had time to think about other issues?
Very much so. And I think many youngsters were affected by COVID adversely during the time. They have seen loved ones suffer, possibly die. And many of the youngsters signing up now have also experienced the struggle of cancer and of blood disease within their family. And this would be, in many instances, the first time they even hear the word lymphoma or leukemia. So certainly, I think from an awareness point of view, health has definitely been on the forefront. You know, it's been a topic on everyone's lips, and the various campuses and schools are also creating a lot of awareness in terms of regular checkups, monitoring symptoms and your own health. So that really aids our cause. And because we are in the health industry and we are able to facilitate applications online or offline, I think, you know, we can just look to even greater numbers applying. Some of our patient campaigns running online at the moment have yielded thousands of applications in a question of 2 months. Wow. And the majority of these are youngsters. They're between the age of 16 to 25, actually. And I'm inspired by the questions coming from these individuals applying. Some are medical questions and concerns because we all have fears and there are certain myths circulating, you know, that we need to debunk. But most of the questions coming through is, how can I help? How can I make a difference? And how can I be part of someone's tomorrow and help towards the struggle? Because in as much as we're celebrating Youth Day and honoring the struggle and how we've overcome this, for many families and children, uncles, aunts, mothers, fathers, the struggle is still very real. Yeah. Thousands of people are conflicted and dealing with cancer-related issues at the moment. And yeah, I'm just really delighted that the youth have really responded and come on board.
Fantastic. So let me throw a couple of questions at you. I mean, in terms of you saying that the demand is coming, or the uptake is coming from those 16 to 20 or thereabouts. Do you need parental consent to become a bone marrow donor from those ages?
Essentially, to sign up, you don't need consent. We do encourage all our applicants, even if you're over the age of 17, 25, we encourage every single applicant to have this conversation with their immediate family and the people they love. We want you to be really sure that when you are signing up, you have the full support of your family and that you are very comfortable with this procedure.
Yeah.
We not only have to mitigate the medical risk, but any reputational or emotional, psychological risk later on could put the patient at risk.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that we're signing up really committed donors. And we want parents to buy into this, because in some instances, the parents themselves are still within the eligible range, meaning they're below the age of 45. So it just makes sense to strengthen the partnership by ensuring that parents are on board. At the point where the youngster would actually donate, additional consent is then needed, because then you start stepping into a medical procedure.
Okay. Now, when we talk about the process, what does the process entail? If you can keep it quite short, I know there's so much information to go into it, but when you sign up as a bone marrow donor, what is the process? What does it entail?
Signing up is really very easy and there's no cost involved. There's a basic health screening that's done online or offline. We courier a buccal swab or a cheek swab in order to get your DNA. And this we courier, we make it available at some of our depots such as Intercare, Pathcare. We have wonderful partners, South African National Blood Service and Western Cape Blood Service. All these entities support us in our cause in as much as we support them. The treatment regimen is stem cells for the patient, but also blood donation. So we really work hand in hand with our medical partners in order to get our donors signed up. Further that, the matched donor will undergo a treatment or a regimen of a growth factor that is administered for a period of 5 days. And then from there, it's a very similar procedure to a blood donation. The stimulating factor increases the release of the bone marrow cells, so much so that it is pushed into your peripheral bloodstream, which means we can take it from your bloodstream, essentially. If you really want to break it down into just layman's terms, there's a little bit more involved. Indeed. I mean, obviously, the fear of needles, I think, is very real. Yeah. But if you contextualize it in terms of what the poor patient goes through for months on end, and many of these patients are very young, they're under the age of a year or 6 months. So the pain and suffering and the struggle for them and their family is much bigger than what we're asking. All we're really asking is a bit of your time, and there's no cost involved.
Yeah, no cost involved, but in terms of side effects, I mean, being a donor, does it affect you in any way when you are donating and you're going through the process? Are there side effects, or is it a very kind of simple procedure that anybody can sort of donate? Are there any certain criteria to qualify to become a donor?
In terms of side effects, the 5 days we administer the growth factor, you might experience nausea, your body might feel a bit achy, similar to when you haven't gone to the gym for a few months and then suddenly visit the gym for a week, you feel really stiff and tight. But once you stop taking the growth factor, those symptoms go away. And we regulate this with administering Panado, painkillers. If you're nauseous, we'll give you something for the nausea. But those symptoms, I think, are really mild. It's sort of the early onset of flu. That's, I think, the worst at what you'd feel. And then in terms of the criteria, you have to be between the age of 16 to 45. Okay. The younger the donor, the better the medical outcome for the patient. We would rather encourage you to join us in another way if you are not eligible medically or if you're over the age. There are so many ways to get involved as volunteers, champions, influencers. We work with a diverse group of volunteers that stretch over 150 nationally seated volunteers, self-service units. There's just so much you can do. Help us with fundraising and other areas.
Excellent.
And many individuals think certain medical conditions would exclude them, when in actual fact they don't. So I think the best is just to first start the application and see if you're eligible. It really could save a life.
And just finally, as I let you go, quickly a website, because as you say, if people can't, they're not eligible, they don't fall into the criteria that's recommended, and they want to donate financially or find out more info, what is the website address we visit?
Our website is www.sabmr.co.za. And because I'm hoping some parents and youth are listening, and it is Youth Month, we now have a TikTok profile, and that is at SA bone marrow, SA bone marrow. So if you have some TikTok videos and you want to share them of swabbing yourself, signing up, we're looking forward to all those hashtags of swabbing to save. I mean, it's been amazing, the reception of youth, and we can't wait to see the content and the inspirational, sort of messaging that comes from the youth that are signing up.
All right, thank you so much, Nadia. Good luck. Thanks for talking to us. Very, very good to hear about the uptake from the youth and donating to such an incredible cause, really showing you how this generation are just a phenomenal generation that really do look towards all kinds of things that just help those around them. So thank you so much. And Nadia, of course, is she's the head of donor recruitment for the South African Bone Marrow Registry. Right, a little bit late with the news, 2 minutes.